And hundreds of millions of dollars to subsidize PBS so they don't have to have advertisements. I'd rather let Big Bird get to know Kellogg's cornflakes and not borrow money from China to pay for it. I love the national...
Thank you, Mr. President. I work at a community college. I'm a college professor actually in Massachusetts, and so I thank you for that, number one. As you can imagine, living up here in the beautiful state of Maine, I have a bit of a long commute, and I think a lot of Mainers share that same issue. Obviously, talking about the recession earlier, and the fact that the recession has continued to go on for 3 years, and we've seen gas prices do nothing but go up. It's making it very difficult for a lot of us and making us struggle, even though I work at a college. I'm not very well paid. So it's starting to hurt, and I'm just kind of curious. I know your energy views and things. I'd like to know some ideas that you have for some new things that we could do once you get elected to fix this fuel crisis that we have and bring these prices down in the short term to help all Americans.
Boy, thank you. It's expensive, and overall, the general price of gasoline is going to be driven by the world price for oil. And the world price for oil is going to be driven by how much oil is created in the total world and how much oil is needed by the total world. So to some degree, we're going to be subject to what's happening with India and China and Brazil buying more and more oil as they develop a stronger and stronger economy. And so there's going to be pressure on oil prices to go up. So what do? Well, one, we can get more oil here, and that will keep our price a little below the world level. And we have oil resources here. We ought to be drilling in Anwar. We ought to be getting, my goodness, we ought to be getting the Keystone Pipeline built. And then have the Central There are some things that are no-brainers, and that strikes me as a no-brainer, which is we got friends in Canada that want to let their oil come into this country, put Americans to work by being able to build that pipeline, and in my view, that's a no-brainer. There's one reason the president doesn't want it, and that's because his extreme environmentalists don't want to have that oil come into this country. But let me tell you what else we can do. Natural gas. And this may take a little while, but natural gas, they found a new technology for getting natural gas out of the ground, which is that they go down into the earth, and then they can drill horizontally, and by drilling horizontally, they can tap into various pockets of gas. Do you know how many oil wells are fracked today? Do you know how many oil wells are fracked today? 70% of all the oil wells in America are already fracked today. So it's already being done. And guess what? And it's not affecting our water supply. So we're going to continue fracking in this country to get our natural gas out. Thanks, guys.
Now, for those who don't know what fracking is,
for those who are not familiar with what fracking is, you drill down, you go into a pocket of oil or gas, and then you pump in fluid to push out the gas and the oil, chemicals and water and so forth. Don't get so upset about it, man. It's not worth getting angry about. Well, okay, we heard your comment. Fracking has gone on in this country for decades. It's regulated state by state. About 70% of our oil wells in this country are fracked. I don't recall hearing about